Let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Bryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast, AEW edition. As always, I'm the Heartbreak Dude, Denton, and with me, as always, is that man with a plan, the producer with the Meducer, with the
producer. There you go.
The producer.
You like
man,
that?
You're the dudes and the producer. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I'm gonna get a jersey.
Killing it. Yeah. You are killing it. As well, and the most creative dude in the world, Mr. Ryan. Ryan enjoys wrestling. What's going on, my man?
Oh, it's AEW Friday, so should be a fun. We got a busy Saturday ahead of us. We got to choose if we're gonna do the Royal Rumble watch along, or if we're going to do an AEW Collision watch along. So,
I think we're going to do a Collision. Yeah. By the way, I just realized right now we shot our WWE one and we forgot to mention our Royal Rumble watch along. So we are going to do a Royal Rumble watch along. So you AEW fans out there who do like WWE as well, please tune in tomorrow. We're going to do it 15 minutes before the show starts. We'll go on as long as we need to after to talk about all the stuff, but we're going to be, Ryan doesn't know. I'm going to try to add in for you 21-year-olds some drinking games, possibly. Maybe we take a shot every single time,
Let's do it, man. Yeah.
I don't know. Something is mentioned, or Corey, every time, Jerry Lawler says puppies. Does he still do that? I'll have to look it up. What drinking game? What could we do?
If we were doing if we were doing a Collision watch along, we could drink every time they did a WWE reference, but because it's the Rumble.
Our chance this is awesome.
Yeah, every time somebody does like a holy shit chant, we can take a drink. Or
that's
every
a good
time,
one, yeah.
Every time somebody counts down, the audience counts down 5, 4, 3.
That's gonna be 60 shots, bro.
Yeah, I know.
sorry, 58 because 2 people come out each one, or 56 because 4 people will count. That's too many shots. I would be like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we'll be.
Blah, blah.
We'll figure it out. We can figure it out. There's always a theme with every WWE episode.
Every time we see a Vince sign in the crowd, Vince McMahon. Yeah. Speaking of, I'm excited about this AEW episode because we weren't going to talk about Vince, thank God. But what were we going to say?
I was wondering, I wonder if they'll have that Royal Rumble press conference now, because I think I'm almost more excited about that than I am the Royal Rumble, just to see how they address this stuff. If they address it at all, they may tell everybody, do not ask any questions about Vince or your press credentials will be revoked. They did that before about Punk.
My thing is that UFC and AEW and WWE, they choose who the journalists are. You don't. Yeah. It's not like this is like the media of a debate, like you have Republican or asking Trump or Biden. This is like, no, they choose what they ask, who comes in. This isn't like, we're not going to get any of that.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. They had a few real journalists there when John Cena did his last match. I think it was at Crown Jewel or Payback or one of them, and they were like randomly asking him about his feud with The Rock. I'm like, why are you asking him about this right now when he's answered this 150 times?
I remember that. That was
somebody from like People Magazine or something. Yeah,
but that wasn't like as offensive as like, so Vince McMahon, were you in on it, Triple H? Like that's different than, you know what I mean? How serious can you take it when CM Punk once tried to fight his boss while eating bread, and Jay Uso and Cody Rhodes showed up smashed and drunk?
Yeah,
so, I mean, it's not like these press conferences are like legit. They're fun and I enjoy them. But anyway, AEW time. It feels good to do AEW this week, only because not because everything was great or that people saw any of the shows, ratings or attendance wise, but the fact that we don't have to talk about any of this non-WWE, any of this WWE stuff. So
the negativity.
Well, we're gonna do Rampage, Collision, Dynamite, and some fun segment at the end. So are you ready? Anything? We don't have no news, right? Everything's good.
Just ratings are in for Dynamite. It was 837,000, so down from last year's 891,000, but up from a couple weeks ago when they had like 700 and 60,000 or whatever it was. But
and Hook, he brings in that extra 60,000, bro.
Yeah, we'll talk about him when we get to Dynamite because he randomly appeared, which that was not how I wanted him to be used, but we'll get there.
All right, you ready? Let's get into it. Rampage, 60 seconds or less recap. Let's go. The show opens with Chris Jericho defeating Matt Sydal. Takeshita attacks him after the match, him being Chris Jericho. Penta defeats Anthony Henry. Backstage, Saraya tries to calm down Ruby, who wants answers from Harley from kissing her man. Wink, wink. Chris Statlander defeats the Queen. Jay Lethal isn't happy with Double J still. Willow, she missed her flight for some reason. It was canceled, and she missed a Statlander match. Stokely wants to be included on the fun. And Darby Allin defeats Jeff Hardy in the main event, and Hardy refuses to shake hands as the show ends. That's the 60 second or less recap of Rampage. What did you think?
Rampage, all right.
Right? It's just happening.
Yeah, it's just one of those shows that it happens and there's no rhyme or reason to it. And then stuff happens on Dynamite and it's like, okay, why did that happen? But the big thing, first of all, I want to talk about the Jericho Matt Sydal match, and not to talk about Vince McMahon and all that negativity there, but there's been a lot of negativity towards Chris Jericho about
for no reason.
Yeah, they've been playing his music because they got to filter out the boos. They played his music the entire time on Dynamite because he was getting booed so loudly. Did you hear the boos at World's End? That man, and I know Rampage is pre-taped, and maybe they could have doctored it a little bit, but
you can see
they were panning to the crowd and they were cheering. They were cheering loudly. They were singing his song. You could pan to the audience and you could see them moving at the same pace as the song. So unless they edited it perfectly, you could see them, cheering loudly for Chris Jericho. As far as the match is concerned, I'm kind of over him in the Don Callis family. I'm ready for him to move on to something else. It just feels like it's the same thing every week with Jericho at the moment, and feels like he's stuck in neutral. But But yeah, I mean, the match was fine. It was a random appearance on, I think it was his first Rampage match that Jericho's had. I think commentary pointed that out. There was his, usually he's there on commentary, but he's never actually had a match. And I mean, the match was what it was. It was a good match, but I was just all those Jericho naysayers out there. He was getting cheered. He was getting cheered pretty heavily.
Mm-hmm. He was. I fully agree. My thing with Rampage now is that it just seems like a filler episode for Collision. Once again, I said they can put this resources and this money into something else. I mean, you're having Matt Sydal on here. You're having, that one Anthony Henry on here. They're not really doing a lot with, you have all this talent who aren't getting airtime. Why not make Rampage and Collision feel more? And we'll talk about Collision too. They're doing the same thing. They just feel like pointless shows. Like Dynamite just has all the main people, everybody else. It's like, and I know Collision had a lot of returns of big stars, but they didn't wrestle big stars. It just doesn't, I don't know. Rampage just isn't doing it for me. I also got to add on too, that Darby Allin Jeff Hardy match. It was what it was. I was excited because Darby Allin's basically like a younger Jeff Hardy. So I thought it was going to be better than what it was. I thought it was mediocre at best, and Hardy refusing to shake hands. Everyone's like, heel. We'll see later on that wasn't true. So I don't even know what the point of that was. I'm very confused.
I was a little confused by that too. I was a little confused by Jeff Hardy's mannerisms in that whole, and I know that he's probably like going to a dark place and he's gonna, but when he came out, I thought he was on something. I thought this was going to be a rehash of that turning point match that he had with Sting in like 2007, because he came out and he just walked. He didn't interact. And then all of a sudden he starts like randomly dancing and doing and then he walks. I was like, is he on something? Like, is it? I was a little confused by just his overall mannerisms. Then he's like shaking hands with the crowd, but then he's like walking. It was just really, all of it was really confusing to me. And I get it's probably a character that he's doing, but when he first came out, I was really confused because his music hit and he just walked out, kind of like that night in 2007 against Sting, which we don't need to rehash. But then he like starts randomly doing his Jeff Hardy dance, and then he's like walking all of it was bizarre. It was really bizarre. Yeah, but I don't think he's turning heel yet. I think it's probably a slow burn to a heel turn.
Yeah, and talk about letting things go on. I'm all about storytelling and having things drag out when it works, but let's get over this whole Ruby Soho, and now we're including this Harley person, and
the girl with the knife.
Yeah, what is happening right now? And she like pinned her up against the wall, and she said, I'm lost. Like, what?
And here's are they only on Rampage now? Because they weren't on Collision, and you don't see them on Dynamite ever. They're only on Rampage. How the mighty have fallen with those two women.
I know,
because
she was just champ.
Yeah, she was just champ. Ruby Soho's never really I could see her going back to WWE as soon as her contract.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's probably enough with this. So
yeah, 100%. All right, you ready to get into Collision?
Yeah.
All right, because it's Saturday. All right, I got a lot to talk about with this. All right, Collision, 60 seconds or less. Recap, let's go. The show opens with Moxley defeating Shane Taylor after Moxley announces it's his year. Okay.
It's the year of the dude.
Adam.
His year.
And isn't it every year for Mox? I'm confused. Adam Copeland defeats Dante Martin, and he's coming for the TNT title. Thunder Rosa defeats the Queen. Bullet Club Gold cut a promo bragging about winning the ROH titles. Okay. Out come the Acclaim. And ladies and gentlemen, we now present to you the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. They did it like this.
Yeah.
A bullet with a scissor, baby. Tony Storm wants to eat Deonna Purrazzo. Okay. But I'll watch.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
And that's why she said it. There's more innuendos later on about them and sexually. Anyway, Daniel Garcia defeats Rhea's boyfriend. The House of Black and FTR brawl again afterwards. Roderick Strong defeats Matt Sydal. In the main event, Danielson and Claudio defeat Kingston and Ortiz. Ortiz apologizes to Kingston for getting pinned to end the show. And that is my Collision 60-second or less recap. And yes, I said Rhea's boyfriend. So
yeah. Oh man, I don't even know where to begin with this episode.
How about the fact that Moxley beat Shane Taylor and then said it was his year?
Yeah, and then he cut another promo on Dynamite,
that's like eating me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, whoop-de-doo, Basil.
Oh, oh man, I haven't heard Austin Powers reference in a while. So.
You're welcome.
Yeah, whoop-de-doo, Basil. Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
Let's talk about the Acclaimed in the Bullet Club.
Okay, that's a good thing. Yeah.
I texted you and I was like, I think I texted you and said, holy shit. And then I was like, I don't think this is a good holy shit moment because at first I wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't really liking it because
it's random.
It is random. And it just feels like we have nothing else for you to do. You're the trios champions and you're the 6-man champions. So let's put you guys together I don't really like when stories aren't continued. And I feel like instead of being obsessed with teaming up with the Bullet Club Gold, they should be obsessed with revenge on the Undisputed Kingdom. And because again, Jay White got pushed down the stairs by these guys when this whole thing first started and they thought it was MJF and it wasn't. And then the Acclaim got thrown through glass and it turns out it was Adam Cole and his cronies the whole time that did it. So go after them. Why are we spending all this time with the Acclaimed, winning the trios or the Bullet Club Gold, winning the 6-man tag on Dynamite, the 6-man championships, and then teaming with wanting to team with the Acclaimed. And so I didn't care for it, but I do. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I think this is a good thing. These guys are super over. They're super popular. Bang Bang Scissor Gang. I don't know if you saw the shirt, but the shirt looks phenomenal.
Oh, I'm buying it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. It's a random pairing, but I think it could be a good pairing. But I do want them to eventually split away from each other again and go after the Undisputed Kingdom and continue the damn story that you started.
Yeah, we once again. It's like I need to get off of X because it's such a stupid app. And the thing is that we have the WWE hardcores who are like, oh wow, way to waste Jay White and this and that. And then you got the AEW hardcores who are like, oh no, Jay White's a hero and this and that. I mean, like I said in my review, okay, you're bragging about ROH titles, but you're really not doing anything with them. What else are you going to do? The Acclaim still are the hottest act in wrestling. I mean, they just in AEW, sorry. They still are. I don't care what anyone says. They still get cheers, scissoring, there's signs, they have the rap, people love it. I mean, they're still super over. Why not pair them with them? We all know it's going to lead to Jay White and them turning on them anyway, so then that'll start a great feud. Why not have them sell some shirts? Bang Bang Scissor Gang sounds fun. Let's run with it. I mean, and I don't know. I like it. You have, and maybe, Billy Gunn's about to end his time, or maybe he's going to go back to WWE to hang out with his homies. So maybe he wants to have a last run with his kids. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Y'all are over here defending Adam Copeland wrestling nobodies in backstage for pointless reasons, but we're against, Billy Gunn wanting to wrestle with his boys. I mean, whatever. If they want to do that, they want to do that. He's earned that right. I'm for it. I'll buy a shirt. I didn't like how they used them on Dynamite, which we can talk about later. But
I the rap that Max Caster cut on Dynamite. The rap was good.
It was dope.
Yeah, it was dope, phenomenal. That was probably the highlight of the night. But
it was. But yeah, so we got that. Can I talk about Eddie Kingston? I mean, I'm gonna sound like a WWE fanboy, but I've said this. I cannot stand Eddie Kingston. There's nothing that he brings to the table that warms my heart. I know I'm an outlier. I know everybody loves Eddie Kingston. Holy shit. If this guy cuts another promo where he says the same exact thing, hey, yeah, you want me to talk? Saturday, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I need to go stretch and warm up. I'm out of here. He says that every flipping week. Bro, your job as a wrestler is to cut a promo. If you don't want to cut promos, that's really his only thing that he has going for them, because you can't tell me that his in-ring technique is what's bringing him, because he was chopping the hell out of Claudio. You want to bring, like, this dude is they put 3 belts on him and he still doesn't feel important. I am so over Eddie Kingston. Get him off my freaking screen. You're wasting time with him when you have so many other talent that could have titles, get airtime. I know my boy Patrick, big fan of us here on Two Dudes, loves Eddie Kingston, wants to marry him, whatever else. I cannot stand Eddie. He's just not he's just awful. I'm glad he has a job. Bless his soul. I hear he's a really good human being. I would have a drink with Eddie Kingston, but I would tell him as well, bro, you're just not that good at you're just not it. We all are good at things and bad at things. I don't get Eddie Kingston. And like I said, his one thing that he can shine on, cut a promo, bro. Like, why do you do the whole
you're good. You're good on the mic.
Yeah, talk, bro. That's like the one thing you're good at. Like, he drives me nuts. Every time he's on my screen, I want to like scream. Yeah, you heard me. Like, I'm getting a headache now thinking about Eddie Kingston. I just cannot stand him. He's so awful. He's awful. He just is. He has no care. What's his character? I'm a regular guy from New York. Is that his character? He's literally just some idiot who says idiot things and can't wrestle. That's all he is. And he'll beat you up in real life. He's like, he's literally, his name should be Drunk Uncle. If he was a wrestler in the 90s, he would be Drunk Uncle. That would be his character. We would have Isaac Yankem versus Drunk Uncle. That's what he would be. Am I wrong? Is he not Drunk Uncle? Do you not have a drunk uncle that's Eddie Kingston?
Oh, yeah.
Could you not picture your drunk uncle getting in a fight?
Isn't that the name of the uncle from Christmas Vacation? Isn't it Uncle Eddie?
Uncle Eddie's like drunk. Yeah, well, Drunk Uncle was a character on SNL where Homeboy used to come on the radio. Uncle Eddie was just, I don't think they called him. No, he was just Uncle. I don't think he was Drunk Uncle. I mean, he is a drunk.
No, he wasn't Drunk Uncle, but his name was Eddie.
Uncle Eddie. Yeah. So Eddie Kingston. Yeah. Oh, I'm just saying, like, in real life, if your uncle got drunk and tried to get in a fight with another family member, he would do those chops. Like, he's just like, it's embarrassing. Get him off my screen, please. And he's a triple champ. Like,
I agree. I think Eddie Kingston, I liked him at first, but now that he's kind of doing more, I'm kind of not digging him as much. And I don't know, maybe I'm turning on him. Maybe you've turned me against him. I don't know, but it just feels like every match that he's in is random. He hates everybody, it seems like he really hates them in real life. And, he brings that I hate you attitude into every match.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything with the Blackpool Combat Club, you had John Moxley say that this is his year. And then Bryan Danielson and Claudio, they got the win, but afterwards, Bryan Danielson, like we talked about this on the WWE episode, is Bryan Danielson a babyface or a heel? Because he spit in the face of Eddie Kingston when he's done. Is that because of their personal animosity with each other and they're bringing that to real life or to the ring? Or is that storyline? Is that his character? Like, I don't know. And then they never address it because they weren't on Dynamite this week. They weren't probably not going to be on Rampage. We'll probably find out on Saturday Collision this week. And I don't know. It's just I'm not really feeling it.
No.
And then this other thing, and then moving on. The other thing I want to talk about too is the just the House of Black and FTR, and now they're going to be in a cage this week. And Like it's an escape the cage. So they must have heard me say. I don't remember. I know Tony Khan watches our podcast because I was complaining about cage matches where you can get pinned in a cage match.
Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah,
it is stupid. And so now this one is the escape the cage. They have to climb out of the cage and escape, which is good. But like, talk about dragging a feud out. First of all, Buddy Matthews, he doesn't get the appreciation he deserves. That man can go, and I feel like he's kind of the enhancement talent right now of the House of Black. He's always losing every match he's in. The match with Daniel Garcia this week was really good. It was a good match. Probably the best match of the night. But again, Matthews took a loss and House of Black loses. And then after the match, they're beating him up and they're beating up, FTR and they're fighting backstage. And I don't know, speaking of characters, like what is House of Black's character right now? Are they supposed to be this dark, mysterious kind of like Undertaker / Judgment Day type group? Are they supposed to be, are they supposed to just be gothic wrestlers? Like, what are they right now, and what direction are they going in? Because, why are they fighting backstage? Like like these are the same guys that can you turn off the lights and they pop up, and they turn off the lights and they're gone. But yet they're backstage fighting with FTR and having officials come and break it up. It's just, I don't know. I'm not really feeling what they're doing with House of Black right now.
No, they were like the best act going on like a couple months ago. That just shows that FTR too, man. For all the mouth running they've been doing towards Eric Bischoff and other people, maybe they should focus on their entertainment value because they've gone down too. Shoot, homeboy said the wrong city. I forgot it was on Dynamite or it was on Collision where he didn't even know what town he was in. Like, how much of a professional are you, bro?
Yeah,
it's like.
I think you said they were in Idaho and they were in Iowa.
Yeah. It's not like they travel a ton. He's like, oh, I'm just so fired up. I'm like, are you? Like, I just feel like this feud has ruined both of them. The only person gaining from it is Daniel Garcia, but FTR and House of Black just don't seem as important anymore after this. This feud has done nothing for them. So yeah. And like you said about the BCC too. I mean, they haven't been on TV for how long, and now we're just on Collision. And I saw a whole bunch of, once again, on TikTok that people are, oh my God, like Collision is so good. It's so bomb. It's so this. Don't say the Punk era was better. The Punk era was better. I didn't even like Collision back then, but I was in the minority. It at least felt more important. This new Collision, and I don't know if Punk was writing or what, how much say he actually had. I don't even know if he even had input in it, but it was better.
Yeah.
It just felt better. This feels like a C show. This is just not good. I mean, once again, you have Moxley fighting Shane Taylor. You have Adam Copeland wrestling Dante Martin. You have Thunder Rosa defeating the Queen again. Talk about too another thing AEW did this week. If you got a loss, you were rewarded. Matt Sydal lost to Chris Jericho. That earned him a right to wrestle Roderick Strong, who's about to fight for the title, because that's what you do, right? Let's not even talk about Jeff Hardy, who lost to Darby Allin and then gets a match against Swerve Strickland, the hottest and best act in AEW today. Let's give him that match. That makes a lot of flipping sense. The Queen loses to Chris Statlander, so she earns a match against Thunder Rosa. What the hell are we doing here? Like, I feel like Tony Khan does this all the time, where he's like, I have too many people, so I'm going to take this group of people, and you guys are going to wrestle for the next couple weeks. Then I'm going to disappear you, and then I'm going to grab another group of 10 people, and you're all going to wrestle on a couple of weeks, and I'm going to get rid of you. Like, we need to build characters, build stories, and have people. Why can't Moxley face somebody for reals? Who the hell's Shane Tate? Like, why? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? It's just such a way, and everybody bragging about this Adam Cope. Oh, it's so great. No, it is not. And why does he deserve a title shot against Christian, which we'll talk about on Dynamite? Actually, let's just go. You ready for Dynamite?
Yeah, let's get into it.
I'm frustrated. I can't take the booking. All right, Dynamite, 60-second or less recap. Let's go. The show opens with Samoa Joe, and Hook interrupts. Hook talks like a caveman, then hugs Joe. Security escorts Hook out of the ring because I guess Joe is scared of a guy he just destroyed in 9 minutes. Hangman Page defeats Penta with Joe on commentary. Orange Cassidy is ready to fight Roderick Strong, but he'll keep fighting till then. The Young Bucks talk and say things. Wardlow defeats Trent Beretta. Deonna Purrazzo and Toni Storm have an insane sit-down promo together that actually blows my mind. And they have matching tattoos. Moxley has no idea how many titles the BCC has won combined, because I guess he doesn't own a computer or know what Wikipedia is. But it's a lot, I guess. That's what he said. Johnny TV makes out with Valkyrie. Swerve Strickland defeats Jeff Hardy. Next week, Swerve and Paige get to pick each other's opponents. Thunder Rosa defeats Red Velvet. Sting and Darby Allin will get a title shot. The Acclaimed defeated the Mogul Embassy. Because, when you lose a lower ranked title, you get to fight for the higher ranked title next week. Serena Deeb returns at Collision. No one will watch it. In the main event, what the Adam Copeland beats Suzuki in 8 minutes with Christian's finisher, because I guess Edge's finisher couldn't get the job done. Christian is subscribing to Netflix on his TV to close out the show, and that's the Dynamite 60-second or less recap. And yes, I said it.
Yeah, that was old footage too. Did you hear about that? That was Christian Cage from like a October 2023 episode of Collision. Like, what are we doing?
Can we talk about the main event? Let's go backwards and then work our way through. Let's go backwards at the beginning. Were you not the only one that noticed that he speared him and couldn't beat him, so then he had to put him in the kill switch to finish him?
Yeah, no, I know.
Doesn't that prove that Christian is better than him? Yeah. I was mind blown. I was like, what is, huh?
Yeah. Every week AEW does stuff that just makes no sense whatsoever. Hook kicking out at 1 made no sense to the muscle buster. And this was the one thing this week that I didn't think made sense was, he kicks out of the spear. And so let me put him in the kill switch, and that puts him down. Why? Like, what do we do? And then after the match, he tries to show him respect, and the guy just like growls at him and then leaves.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, that's what I expected."
Yeah, it was. It's just weird. Like,
what?
Why are we doing? Like, I love Adam Copeland, and I get that Tony Khan has a relationship with New Japan, but why are we wasting our time? Like, can we just? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what I want. That's the thing. I don't know what I want from them. I don't know if I want him to go ahead and just wrestle Christian Cage again and get it over with, or if I want that match to happen at Revolution, or if I want them to build to it. But I'm also getting tired of Adam Copeland's promos after every Cope Open. And he's like, Christian Cage, I'm coming for you. Christian Cage, I'm coming for you. Christian Cage, I'm coming for you. I'm going to prove that I work harder because I have a better work ethic because I'm coming for you. Like, okay, we get it. You're coming for him. Like, can you stop? It's like Elektra Lopez looking for Homegirl on NXT. Like, we get it. You're looking for her. Get it. Like, we get it. You're coming for. We get it. You're coming for Christian Cage. Like, come up with a different shtick. I don't know. This main event really irritated me this week. I didn't care for it like a lot of people did.
I don't know why anybody liked it. And why do I care that he's wrestling Suzuki? Why do I care that he's going to wrestle another guy from New Japan? Why do I care that AEW guys wrestle New Japan wrestlers? I don't give a crap. They're not in the story. There's no point. You have to watch New Japan.
You won't see him again.
Yes. And I'm so sick of Tony Khan assuming that everybody in stop relating to your hardcore fans. Tony Khan, idiot. Listen to me. Yes, I called you an idiot. Listen, you have hardcore fans. They are watching. 800,000 or so people are going to watch AEW no matter what. Relate to the other 2 million people who are not watching AEW and get them invested. Do it by not trying to please the hardcore fans. We don't need the Young Bucks saying stupid things that only inside people who go on Twitter know. You're not going to impress people by getting random people from New Japan, no matter how big they are, that casual fans do not know. Book for casual fans, please. That's how you will succeed. Otherwise, this is just your toy that's going to go out of business in a few months. I don't know how hard this is for him to understand. Like, you can't just keep booking this random mess and storylines. Build your stars. You have stars. AEW has stars. Build them. Like, why is this so hard for him? Once again, I've said it before. I don't think he cares. I don't think he loses money from this. I don't think he gives two rats. If it goes under, what does that do to him? This is just him having fun.
Yeah.
Let's not even talk about like that text I sent you about the fact that when All In happened with Cody and the Young Bucks and Omega starting it and doing that thing did so much attendance that nobody thought was going to do. Broke records, did their thing. They signed with AEW. AEW was a hot commodity that first 2 years. Did it during COVID. I thought their product was better than WWE at that time. They had better storylines, stuff going on. You want to know why, my man? Because the wrestlers were writing the stuff. As soon as Tony Khan took over, what has AEW done? has done nothing but go under. They used to do $1 million views a week, their ratings. Tony Khan has single-handedly ruined AEW, and he's going to continue to do it. Sorry, let's continue, Ray. I'm just so over it. Like, I wanted to survive. That's why I'm like so.
Yeah, we wanted to thrive.
And why is that your main event? That's what people are supposed to tune into. Like, oh crap, I can't wait to see like this, Suzuki versus Adam Copeland match. Holy cow. Been waiting my whole life for that. Speaking of, do we talk about, actually, let's talk about the Young Bucks. Let's go a little bit all.
Yeah. What are they doing? Like, first of all, okay, I'm one of those old school fans that I don't want to be told that wrestling is scripted. I know that it's scripted. I appreciate that it's scripted. I appreciate that these guys are doing this on a predetermined outcome. I don't need them to tell me that it's scripted. And that's exactly what when they first walked into the arena and they're handed the pieces of paper and they're like, oh, that's going to be a banger. Oh, that's going to be a banger. And then they're threatening to fine not private party, but Top Flight for showing up late. Are you guys just getting here when they're the ones that just got there? It was, I get what they're trying to do. And I guess I appreciate it, but I don't really. And then the Sting and Darby Allin promo segment where they're backstage and they show them on the headphones and they're producing it. Like, why are you telling us that this is all scripted and fake? Like,
they were actually judging it. They were actually saying how bad the shot was. I'm like, why are you dogging?
Yeah. I don't like why. Yeah. You're dogging your own creation, which I mean, I know they're playing characters and I get it. I guess they're making fun of themselves or they're making fun of the hardcore fans that look at every little thing with AEW, but this little gimmick that they're doing. I liked it the first week because I was like, okay, maybe there's something there with them and Jungle Boy, and they. I'm curious to see what they do here. But this week was a complete miss for me. This was awful in every sense of the word.
Like I told you last week when I was wearing my Young Bucks shirt, I'm a Young Bucks fan, and I think they're gifted in the ring. But I've always said they're not promo people. They're not really good at it. And to be the Vince McMahon bad guy character that they're trying to be, right? Like the person in charge who's going to be bad, then you got to do bad things. Telling Top Flight you're going to fine them for showing up late, or it's telling your production truck that your current angle that you're using for your show is bad, is not the way to do it. Speaking of, also, actually, I'll get into this in a second, but yeah, I was very lost on it. It didn't work for me. They also brought up the point that they're like, oh, well, since we're the only EVPs left, I'm like, so Kenny Omega's dead? I thought he was just injured.
The way they said it was weird. They said like we're the last surviving EVP. It was like, yeah, so Kenny Omega's dead.
Yeah,
it was weird.
I thought he was just hurt. Anyway, it's a huge miss. If you're liking it right now, you're lying. You're just trying. And then the opening with Samoa Joe and Hook, because I want to end on a high note, and I think we know what the high note is of this episode. But the show opening with Samoa Joe and Hook, like, what? Like, Hook, did he not talk like a caveman? He literally walked up and said, "You beat me, respect." And then, like, did he not say it like that? Like, dude, if Hook doesn't know how to talk, don't let him talk. And then Samoa Joe sat next to Taz, made a comment, and Taz was like, good one, bro. Once again, I get it. You don't want them to then don't put them together. Don't have them. No father is going to allow any of that went on. Not only did he kick his son's butt afterwards and beat him up, and he did nothing about it, then he had his son arrested in front of him, and Taz is just like completely like, all right, well, whatever, I gotta do my job, I guess. Like, you're a father, Taz, and someone who kicks butt for a living. You would not just be tolerating what Joe's doing. It's so stupid. Don't have him there, or don't pay it any attention. Don't bring it up if you're not gonna like bring up the realism to it. And once again, why would Joe be afraid of Hook? Please explain to me.
Yeah, you just kicked his ass. Like, why? You have no reason to be afraid of him. Yeah, that whole opening was a cluster. It was just a complete and utter cluster of the night. Hook coming back out after Samoa Joe, like Samoa Joe was just talking and just felt like he was, and then Hook just randomly interrupts and says nothing, and then he leaves. It was just, all of it was a huge miss. This was a horrible way to open the show. And, they're talking about the rankings coming back, and Samoa Joe's saying that, not everyone's going to be able to get a title shot now. You're going to have to earn your way.
Yeah.
I'm not even feeling the rankings coming back. I'm not really digging that either. I think all of it is just really, really. AEW's in a really tough spot right now.
Well, and the rankings, like I said, are just a cheap way to not push storylines. The rankings mean nothing. That you can put anyone number 1, number 2, number 3, whatever. I mean, maybe it'll stop us having these pointless matches.
But will it though? Because like Orange Cassidy lost. He's like 50-2 in the last like 52 matches that he's had. But he's the international champion. But that would automatically put him at the number 1 contendership because of his. So like, what is that? Are you gonna have rankings for all of your titles? You're gonna.
They did last time, didn't they? Oh no, they didn't. They had them all like champions, and then everybody was ranked under. Yeah.
Yeah. So So does that mean that he's the number 1? What about Christian Cage? Christian Cage is the TNT champion. It's all confusing, and I don't know what they're doing. I don't think they know what they're doing, and they're just throwing it together week by week. And that's how this episode of Dynamite felt. It just felt like we don't have a show. We have 1,800 people in a 2,500 person arena. So we have 700 empty seats. We don't really have a show to put together. Let's throw something together and see what sticks. And that's how this episode felt. Everything felt thrown together.
It did. The same thing with like Swerve and Pay. Like we're gonna pick each other as opponents, so they're probably gonna wrestle. Swerve's gonna wrestle Matt Sydal, and Hangman Page is gonna wrestle. I don't know,
Chris Jericho,
Shane Taylor, and they're gonna like wrestle each other and wrestle. Like what is happening? It's so. Yeah. I hate the whole pick the thing, but let's end it on a high note, huh? Unless you didn't think it was a high note, but let's talk about that Toni Storm, Deonna Purrazzo. I do have one thing before we jump into it. You're going to tell me that Tony Khan is capable of producing a segment where one side is black and white, and the other side is color, and the other side is color, but you can't get your mics and sound to work throughout an entire episode. Yeah. Is that what you're going to say, or are you saying something else?
No, I was going to say the exact same thing. Like
I could not hear them half the damn episode. Their production was so poor that this was like this is, in my opinion, one of the worst Dynamites I've ever seen, if not the worst produced. The crowd, since nobody was there, you could tell and feel it. It was disgusting. And lastly, the fact that they can cut they had her perfectly, because it wasn't like half, it was enough to like, that was like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen with a promo. So well done, so perfect, but you cannot get mics to work. Like, what? Did he blow his budget on that? Like, I don't get it at all.
Yeah. And I thought this was clearly the highlight of the night. I thought this was the best segment that they've done in quite a while. And it just shows that they can do it. They can do it. Mm-hmm. You can cut to them being half black and white, half in color. Mm-hmm. And every time, and it's not just one time, every time Toni Storm's on screen, they pan to color or pan to black and white. Yeah. So you can do it. Like you have it. You're capable of doing it. And I feel like they're little toddlers right now. You can do it. You could just do the whole episode and then we'll all be very proud of you. Mm-hmm. But it just feels like they do this, and like you said, they can't get the mics to work, or they just have horrible sound, or you can't hear them half the time, or you can't hear Renee backstage with her mics. It's just it's a weekly thing with them, and but this shows that they can do it, and I just wish they could put it all together for a complete show.
Yeah, and I did like this segment. I liked a lot about it. I don't like that they did like the matching tattoos in this, but they didn't really die. Once again, AEW assumes that everybody knows everything. There was no like real history of why, that they're obviously friends or maybe past lesbian lovers. I don't know what's going on with that, because she's talking about eating her and she was saying that. She also brought up her lips, and I don't think she was talking about those lips. She was talking about all sorts of weird Toni Storm. But holy cow, is Toni Storm's character just so flipping amazing. Just the way she talks. And yes, I do feel like Deonna Purrazzo's promo wasn't that strong, but how do you promo with Toni Storm? Because she's not giving you like anything. She's just being that character. It's hard to like counter it. So I don't blame Deonna Purrazzo. Like, people were like, oh, that wasn't a good like first like showing, but I thought it was fine. I mean, Deonna Purrazzo's doing her thing. How about that line of, I heard you were being body shamed on the internet. Yeah. But why shame your body when there's so many other things
it was all good
they
stuff.
Could shame you for? But the fact that like, damn good line, but didn't Deonna Purrazzo complain about being body shamed, and then she was okay with, because Tony Storm saying that meant like, yeah, you are fat, but there's so many other things that, correct? Isn't that what it meant? Like, why body shame you for being fat when you could body shame you for everything else in the world? I thought it was kind of weird that she was like upset by it. Like, you put on social media like boo, and everybody was like stand up for Deonna Purrazzo, and then you're allowed Tony Storm to like make a joke about it. I don't know. Then how upset were you really? Like, if people called me fat, I wouldn't care. Like, I don't care about, like, body shame doesn't offend me. I get we're all different as humans. So if she was like whatever about it, and then they did the line, but I felt like she was affected by it, but then she was okay. Like, that's gonna give ammo for more people to be like these idiots to be okay with it, right? Or am I wrong? I don't know. But
yeah.
It was a damn good line. It was funny.
I thought so. Yeah.
She laughed. Deonna Purrazzo laughed.
She laughed
a few times.
Dude, I don't see how you could do a promo battle with her and not break character. Yeah.
The lip line where she said, like, I'm going to pull your lips so hard that
you're going to need an epidural. Yeah.
Yes. Renee Paquette literally like went down and was like covering her face. I think she was cracking the heck up. It's just such like, oh, that segment was just golden. And the fact that it was black and white in color, and then they started throwing the shoes at it, although she threw a heel and it looked like that would have hurt. She threw that kind of hard, like missed Tony Storm. And then the fact that she kicked Homeboy, and Homeboy was like, wow, why?
Yeah, this was probably the lone highlight of the night for me. And this was the best. Tony Storm is getting better and better each week. She's investing in her character. I know we kind of crapped on it there at the beginning, but because they were putting it on during the freaking commercials, so they were telling me that they didn't care about it. But now that I'm seeing more of it, and I'm hearing her, and she's on the microphone, and she's doing backstage stuff, and she's wrestling and doing commentary, she's just fantastic. And I think right now I'm gonna go on a limb, and I'm gonna say that she's the face of that company right now, and she's carrying AEW. She's making it. She's the only reason to tune in, because MJF's not there. Who knows what the hell's happening with the Undisputed Kingdom and Adam Cole and that group, because Wardlow struggled against Trent Beretta for whatever reason when they should be looking dominant. Hangman Page and Swerve are in this feud. John Moxley's in the endless, it's his year, but he wasn't, he's cutting, he doesn't know how many titles he's won. It just feels like AEW's kind of all over the place, and Tony Storm is the one thing that they have that's constant and it delivers. I just don't want Deonna Purrazzo to win the women's championship. I think it's too soon, and B, Tony Storm is just doing such a fantastic job as women's champion. But I have a feeling they're going the direction of Deonna winning.
And I don't understand why they already gave her a title shot. I thought that was pretty stupid. Like, Tony Storm's cooking. Like, let Deonna beat other girls and have her build up and this and that. Was I wrong about John Moxley? Why even bring up that segment if you don't? It's like he knew and then he like blanked and forgot
the line.
It was like weird. Like, why even like bring it up if you're not going to say the number? It's a lot. And I was like, what the fudge? Like, what is happening, Moxley? Like, you just said it was your year and you can't even cut a promo. And then what are we doing with the Undisputed Kingdom? They're already a joke. I already don't care about them. And Adam Cole came out but didn't even say anything, and then they like, what are they?
Wardlow struggled, the muscle of the group struggled against the little guy,
like an 8-minute match, and couldn't beat him. Like, what are we doing? What is I don't know. I don't know what's going. I'm just like, the fact that Wardlow spent his entire time beating people so bad so quickly that they didn't even count, and now he struggles against the dude from the Best Friends. Like, get out of here with that. I don't know, but hopefully they can turn around this week. I feel bad for them because, once again, Tony Khan, I don't get why he puts so many important matches on nights that it doesn't need. This is like the second time in a row against a WWE PLE that he's putting up all these like big matches that nobody's going to watch. Serena Deeb's coming back. They're having that cage match, the finally, be done with that. And then he's, and supposedly, Sasha Banks is going to return again. As, Sean Ross, whatever his name is, who doesn't know what he's doing, is like telling everybody. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand like what we're doing. I don't know. Like, put that stuff on Dynamite where you're going to get a ratings push.
Yeah.
There's going to be
200,000 program the
200,000. Yes. 200,000 people are going to watch Collision, maybe. Like, what are, like, it's gonna do all, it's literally at the same time. Literally at the same time.
Exact same time. Yeah.
So stupid. Anyway.
Makes no sense. No sense whatsoever.
I'm not saying throw the thing away, but just don't try to like upsell matches. Don't put bangers.
It's another reason that they got to get it off of Saturday. They just now with Raw moving to Netflix in 2025, they either have to get rid of Collision altogether or they got to move it to another day. They got to get it off Saturday. And sometimes they're competing with themselves too, because World's End was on a Saturday, Full Gear was on a Saturday, so they didn't even have Collision. They had to put Collision on Friday. World's End, they didn't even have Collision that Saturday because of the pay-per-view. So it's just like, why have it on Saturday if you're not if you can't build to your pay-per-view?
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. All right, you ready? Segment time?
Yeah, I don't have any music for this one.
No music. All right, so we're doing true or false. That's our segment today. And this is what we are going to ask each other a couple scenario questions or what we think could happen or can happen. And if we're going to guess if it's true or false. As always, the handsome man himself, Mr. Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. You get to go first. What you got for me?
We actually didn't talk about this with Dynamite, surprisingly. So I'll bring it up here. But true or false? Sting and Darby Allin will win the AEW Tag Team Championships from Big Bill and Ricky Starks in 2 weeks.
True. I don't think they're going to have Sting lose unless it ends in a DQ. I think it's a bad decision. I don't understand why you would want to take away tag titles from a hot tag team. One of the better, I mean, like you said, Tony Storm, Swerve, that's really all you got going for you. Acclaim, but they're kind of now, but they are still one of the hottest acts. And then you have Ricky Starks and Big Bill. They're killing it. And you're going to have them drop it only to have them defend it against the Young Bucks at Revolution. And then are we going to have Sting lose his last match? No. So he's going to win. And then what? Vacate? Or is Darby going to continue? I don't know. I don't know what the point is. If they're undefeated, why not just have them win the tag team titles 7 months ago and then have this be a reign that they had at least? But to take titles off of somebody who's hot right now, then to relinquish it in a month or so is bananas to me. Just straight bananas.
Yeah, I actually think it's going to be, I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to win. I think that's going to be their first loss. And I think the Young Bucks are going to cost them the tag team championships. And that's what's going to get Sting and Darby Allin to agree to wrestle them at Revolution with no tag team titles on the line. It's just going to be a standard tag team match. But I think that's the only thing that makes sense in my head. Because again, like you said, do you have them win and then the Young Bucks, you have them lose Sting's final match, even though Sting would probably like that because that's kind of what the old school wrestling mentality is when you retire, you go out on your back. But AEW doesn't really follow that kind of. They like to have people win in their hometowns. They like to have people win their final matches. So the only thing that makes sense to me is the Young Bucks cost them the match against Ricky Starks and Big Bill, and then they want revenge and they take them out. They take on the Bucks at Revolution.
Yeah.
That's what I think makes sense. But Tony Khan,
I think that's better. Yeah, I think that's better than what I just think Tony Khan wants Sting to end on a high note. That's what I don't think he's going to lose. But maybe. I like that. All right. True or false? Wardlow will win the heavyweight championship before Adam Cole. True or false?
False.
I forgot I had sounds for this.
Yeah, you didn't use it. False. All right. Yeah, you don't think so? Huh?
I don't think so. I don't think Wardlow's going to win the title at all. I mean, between
ever.
Not this year, not in 2024, maybe 2025, maybe NXT championship, maybe maybe the WWE championship, but he's not winning the AEW championship. And the only reason why I say that is because I feel like it's Swerve's to win. And then what are you going to, how long is, you're going to have Swerve have a long reign? You feel like you have to give Swerve a decent amount reign. So, 6 months, 9 months to a year. And then, you can build up Adam Cole between then. You can build up Wardlow between then. But I just don't see it. I don't see Wardlow. The whole Undisputed Kingdom thing was to get MJF out of AEW. And their whole thing was to, cost MJF everything, ruin his life. And they've done that. So now what's next for them to do? What's next for them to do?
Yeah. Here's my thing, right? Like, I think I'm gonna go true. I think they are, and I think that's the way they're going to.
It's damn true.
I think that's the way they're going to go with Adam Cole and Wardlow leaving. I think then Adam Cole will be like, give me the belt. And then Wardlow is going to be like, grumble, and then turn on him and this and that. I just don't see Samoa Joe having it forever. And even if, Swerve might win it, but that doesn't mean Wardlow can't win it I don't know how much longer Adam Cole's injured for. I don't know if it's 2 months, 3 months, 8 months.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they brought it up, and they brought up that he wants them to win it. So why not have Wardlow win it? At least that'll be a good angle and a good story. I know it's the same one they had before with MJF, but hey. And Wardlow deserves it, man. That guy, he's such an overact, and they just ruin him. Either that or let him go to WWE, dude.
Something.
Push him way better. All right. What else you got, Broham?
Yeah, I got one similar to yours that you just asked me because they have the similar storyline as the Undisputed Kingdom, but Killswitch, formerly known as Luchasaurus, will win the TNT Championship from Christian Cage in 2024.
Oh,
and
true.
Not Adam Copeland.
Yeah. No, true, 100%. It has to happen.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
They're doing the same story, and we've talked about this, and it's the same one as MJF. It has to happen. He deserves. What was the point of building it all? What's the point of picking on him? What's the point of forcing him to like you? What's the point of doing all that unless he's going to get his comeuppance? And I don't see the point. The only way I see him not doing it, if his turn and his comeuppance is to have Christian Cage or to have Adam Copeland win the TNT title, and that's when he's going to turn on him. So Christian's going to be about to beat him, or he's going to say, give me the belt, and then Luchasaurus is going to hand it to Edge, and Edge is going to hit him with it and win, or something like that. If he turns, and that's going to be, but I just don't think that's a fair enough revenge for him. I think Luchasaurus also deserves a title. He had it, and it wasn't even his. Give that guy a real title run. Kind of like Drew McIntyre needs to win the heavyweight championship again before he leaves. Give that guy at least a run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think he needs to win it. He's an AEW original. He's been there since the company opened, the first episode of Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
He can go in the ring. I'd like to hear him on the microphone from time to time, but he can go in the ring. Yeah, I'd love to see Luchasaurus at least have a decent little reign with the TNT Championship. Turn babyface in the process.
Yeah. Yes, sir. All right, you ready? Last one?
Yep.
I have 3. Let me see which one I want to do. One's 2. Oh, no. Should I make it hardcore? No, let's do it. All right. Will AEW go under in the year 2025? True or false?
False.
All right.
Yeah, I don't
survive.
I don't think they will. I think they got to change some things. They got to have a come to Jesus meeting. They have to figure some stuff out. And apparently one of these, their new director of live events or whoever it is that is coming in, apparently they said that they're going to start going to bigger markets and no more small market towns like Savannah, Georgia this past weekend where the arena only holds 2,500 people. They're going to start going to the Los Angeles and the Bostons and the New Yorks and the Chicagos where they can get a bigger crowd and a bigger wrestling market and get more people in the arenas then. I think if Okada comes to AEW, when Will Ospreay comes to AEW, when Sasha Banks comes or Mercedes, I don't think they're going to be needle movers by any stretch of the imagination, but I think they're certainly going to help. And I think people are going to be excited to see Will Ospreay on Dynamite, and I think people are going to be excited to see Mercedes on Collision, and people are going to be excited to see Okada, what he can do in an AEW ring if they get these people. And then
they might not. So
and then who knows? With all the stuff going on with Vince McMahon and the WWE, and people maybe if more wrestlers are named in that lawsuit, maybe they leave. And maybe people just get tired of dealing with the WWE's drama. Like Drew McIntyre, maybe he makes the run over to AEW, or not saying it's going to happen, but Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, their contracts are up. They're not leaving, but their contracts are up. Crazier things can happen. Finn Balor, apparently his contract's up in April of this year. So, he could make a run over to AEW. So I think they'll be fine. They just have to change some things up, and they got to get a writing team. They got to do something with the creative and the stories, because right now it's just all over the freaking place. But I think they'll be all right. As long as they're on TV, I think they'll be okay.
Do they stay on Turner?
Yeah, I think they will. Now that they lost Monday Night Raw, I think they're going to stay on Turner.
Yeah, I don't see the point. Why not? They gotta, like you said. I agree with you. I don't think they're going to go under. I think they'll be fine. I mean, what are they doing any different than TNA? I think honestly, like I say, if it wasn't for the AEW fanboys and if it wasn't for Tony Khan's tweets, I don't think people would care. I think people would think AEW is doing great and running their own business. I think those are the problems, is that the wrestlers like an FTR, the fanboys out there, they just throw this energy out there and brag and post. And then Tony Khan goes on and attacks people and attacks WWE and name call. If you would not do any of that, I don't think people would even be thinking about it. I think it's because they do all these things and try to compare themselves and try to make themselves as competition, which is why. But if you want to be competition, like I said, you have to. I've been saying this for 2 years now on this podcast. This one and the one before that, you in TikTok, you have to, or almost 2 years, you have to relate to casual fans. You have to. And that's why WWE fans, a lot of them won't turn off WWE this weekend or whatever else, because a lot of them probably don't even care or know about what Vince McMahon's going on. So, I mean, you got to relate to the casual fans. That's how you make money. McDonald's isn't only going to sell their product to people who like McDonald's. They're going to try to relate to other people outside of that. That's what companies do. That's why people crapped on Chick-fil-A when they were doing the whole, anti-gay stuff, because people were like, why are you going to do that as a business? Got to be smarter than that. And the owner was like, yeah, you're right. My bad. No, I distract. I don't mean it. And blah, blah, blah. You're a business. A business needs to be to the casual people who don't just want your product. Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's how business works. Tony Khan just doesn't know how to run a business. Don't act like he runs the Jags and these soccer teams, and he doesn't do it. The only one he runs is AEW, and I don't know what FTR, when they told Bischoff they're at a thriving company. I don't know how in any way, shape, or form we think AEW is thriving, but company nonetheless. I mean, it's on TV. It's doing better than TNA. So, but I don't get how you say it's thriving. Bananas to me. Yeah, bananas.
I agree, but they've got to tighten some things up. But I still think they've got a talented roster. They've got a great women's division. They just got to stop with the stupid tweets. And I don't want to. Tony Khan better not say a word on X about, well, I'm now the longest reigning CEO, or I don't have any skeletons in my closet, as a shot at Vince McMahon and the WWE. Yeah. Just keep your mouth shut. Don't say a word about it. Just focus on getting more people in your arenas. But
I agree.
That's what you got to do. Yeah.
Don't talk about other things. Don't talk about WWE. Talk about yourself. No. It's bananas. All right, man. That's it. That's AEW. Let's go. Hopefully next week we can talk about a lot more positive stuff. We're going to have watch along this Saturday. The watch along Royal Rumble. Tune in. Anyone who's listening, tune in. It should be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. And then next week, we'll talk about the Royal Rumble on WWE. Maybe we'll do a special Monday edition. We're going to be talking about AEW is probably going to have a pretty decent, a lot of big things going on this week. So I'm excited about next week. hopefully, we don't have any new news on what's going on with all this scandalous information. Focus on wrestling. And let the lawyers focus on the other stuff.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be a fun week. So let's hope it continues to be that way, despite all the negativity out there right now.
I agree. All right. As always, on the Heartbreak Dude Denton. You can catch me on all social media outlets at HBD Denton. And the Dude of Wrestle Talk, my man. And with me, as always, is
Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. Go follow us here on YouTube. We're blowing up. And then go follow us on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast from. Go follow our TikTok account at 2 Dudes with Attitudes, and go follow our individual social medias as well. We're on Instagram, TikTok, you name it, we're there. Twitch, you name it. So go follow us there and help us blow this thing up. We want to get to 1,000 before WrestleMania 40, and I think we can make that happen. I think we can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. All right. 2 Dudes Wolfpack. We out.
2 dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the 2 dudes and our attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Bryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The 2 dudes with the attitudes will bring the heat. Get the point, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.